How are you?
Feeling good. Feeling a whole lot better than I was 2 weeks ago this time. My range of motion, my strength, and all that stuff is back, so I'm feeling good. I'm excited to get back out there and practice. I mean, I've missed it. You know, when you get away from the grind and just being out there with your teammates, you kind of start just feeling guilty and, you know, feel like you might be letting your team down and things like that. So I'm definitely excited to be back out today.
Do you expect to play Saturday?
Yes, sir.
Can you go back to the actual play that you got injured? Just what was going through your mind, just what you saw on the play?
Right. Well, thinking back on it, it was just a stretch. One of the things I do is, you know, just running the stretch play, going down, and I was going down like normal. It was kind of like a freak accident. You know, whenever I run, I always protect myself, protect the ball, so that wasn't a problem. I think it was just the fact that with my force coming down and with the guy coming down behind me on my back, that's what really hurt my shoulder. You know, so it's kind of like my shoulder just like rolled, like just punched into the ground, and my body continued to move, and that's where I got the injury.
Jimbo said that you wanted to actually come back into the game.
Oh, yeah.
Just describe your mindset looking at your team out there, but you can't get back on the
Yeah,
game.
that's what I said. It hurts, you know what I mean? Because when I was in the training room, I was in such pain, and you know, they get the medicine to kind of numb it up and all that kind of stuff, and that hurts. You can feel the stuff going into your shoulder. I don't know if anybody's ever got one, but it's tough. And you know, just give it some time, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, start throwing the ball around the training room. Ran back out there as fast as I could. I don't know if y'all saw me. I was almost sprinting out there trying to get back in on the next series. And, you know, Coach Fisher didn't know how bad I was hurt. And, you know, I appreciate it because he didn't want to jeopardize my career and just didn't want to jeopardize me for the rest of the season, not knowing how bad the injury was. I definitely want to get back out there and play.
EJ, how difficult was it to sit out that Clemson game?
Yeah.
And then also, did you ever even entertain the idea that trying to make that a go?
Yeah, I did. Just toward the end of the week, you know, I wasn't progressing as fast as I wanted to, or as fast, you know, it was still hurting bad. You know, I really couldn't lift it up as much as I wanted to. My range of motion wasn't great. And, you know, it's still a long season. But obviously it was definitely a game that we wanted to win. Felt like we could have won. And, you know, Clint still played a great game. He had a fantastic first start for a freshman. And, you know, our team played well, but we just fell short. So it was tough to watch, though. It was very tough.
Can you describe how an injury to your non-throwing shoulder still affects you and your motion and your balance and all that?
Yeah, I know early on when I would try to throw, it was just the fact that it was so swollen that it would still hurt, you know, especially with your left arm. That's really what you try to use for your momentum when you're coming through and you're passing and things like that. So that was probably the main reason why I wasn't able to play, because I really wasn't able to rip when I wanted to throw like a 60-yard bomb or something like that. But after a while, you know, like when the swelling subsides and the pain kind of goes away a little bit, you can still tolerate a little bit of pain. But when it's really swollen and really tender, that's where it was hardest for me to try to throw any type of passes. So, but now it feels fine.
Surprised at all by the way Clint performed out there?
Nah, not at all. I think Clint is a very good quarterback, very smart, and you know, Coach Fisher game playing very well for him. And you know, I kind of wish I played because I was on the sideline calling out pretty much everything that he was going, you know, all the decisions he made, and I was happy for him. I was extremely happy for him, and you know, it was a big game, a big time situation, so that's going to give him a lot of confidence. You know, be able to perform so well in a big time situation like that.
EJ, get your first start at Wake a couple of years ago. Just talk about, does that give you an advantage knowing you've been up there, you've been successful?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to getting back, you know, up in Wake Forest. You know, they have the turf so you can run fast. You know, my receivers and stuff like that, they're looking forward to playing on that fast turf. But it'll be nice, you know, also my family will be able to come to the game. It's not very far from Virginia, so yeah, it'll definitely bring back some memories. Yes, sir.
Now, we know it was tough on you to watch the Clemson game. It was tough on you to not be able to perform in practice. But what about when you're home, away from your teammates, it's just you? Because we know you take this very, very seriously. What was it like when you're just by yourself?
It was tough. It was tough. I know, you know, I usually don't get down like that, you know, especially because I don't get hurt that much. You know, it's very rare that I get like a serious injury where I can't play the next week or I'm out for 2 weeks and just doing treatment, can't practice and stuff like that. So it wasn't like it was an ankle sprain. You know, it was one of those things you really had to take time and take it serious, you know, and get it right. But it was tough. Like I said, I felt, you know, I kind of felt guilty. Obviously, I didn't mean to get hurt. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't my fault or anybody else's fault. It was just part of football. But it's just one of those things, you know, until you experience it, you don't really know how you're going to handle it. But obviously, my teammates are still supportive of me. You know, I would always ask those guys. I'd be the first person like, how's practice? You know, what y'all do today, and how they go. And I talk to Rodney, talk to Clint, talk to Dak, all those guys, making sure they're still doing what they're supposed to do. So it was tough. It was tough. You know, just being at home, kind of unsure as far as how fast my shoulder will start feeling better. Still in pain. I can't even watch TV like I want to. Can't sleep like I want to, and things like that. So it was tough.
When did it start feeling better?
probably earlier last week when we had the bye. I'd say I probably made a lot of strides. Probably on Monday or Tuesday. Chris Williams, the trainer, he's the one that's really been hands-on with me since day one, even when I used to have a hurt rotator cuff and things like that when he first got here. But he definitely took care of me. Treatment 3 times a day, early in the morning, afternoon, sometimes during practice and things like that. So we definitely got it in, and I think that's really what helped my recovery be so fast.
Was there a light on where it came like, wow, okay, it does feel better. I
Definitely,
can feel this. I'm
definitely.
gonna
When I started doing some mobility stuff with the like 5-10 pound weights and things like that, started lifting weights with it again, and all that kind of stuff. I don't think I really lost anything. I still weigh the same and all that kind of stuff. So that was good.
Are there any positives that you got by facing this adversity early on in the season?
Definitely. It's a part of it. You never want to get hurt. You never know when you're going to get hurt, but it's just one of those things you got to fight through. And definitely gives me a lot of confidence. Still looking forward that I can come back out there and play. It's not an injury where it's going to be life threatening. I can't not play football ever again because it's still a game. You still want to be able to play. It's still a kid's game and something I love, something I enjoy doing. And I'm just glad that I was able to come back from it.
Can you talk about the response from the fans as far as on Twitter? Like, I know you're very active online, but just talk about some of the responses that you got from fans.
Yeah, well, not that active. I don't really tweet that much, man, and I definitely don't read a lot of it either, but I don't know. Hopefully it's positive. I haven't really been on Twitter this past weekend or this past week. Just really been focused on what I need to do with classwork and then get my shoulder back right so I can get back on the field, so we'll see.
On that topic, you've talked before about how you don't read newspapers, you don't watch media and all that.
Right.
But Twitter, it kind of comes to you, right?
Right.
I mean, it's not like...
Yeah, I mean, you hit your replies and then you get to see what everybody has to say, so I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Was that, I mean, are you trying to back away from that?
Yeah, it's not something I really get caught up in. I know when I first got it, it wasn't that bad because I wasn't the starter and things like that, but now I got all these people following me and all these replies, and it's not all negative. It's a lot of positive stuff. People were really, and I appreciate that too. A lot of people praying for me and telling me, good luck and get my shoulder back right and things like that. That's always nice to see. But, it's just one of those things you can't really get into. You can't get caught up into it because you just got to stay focused on, the real thing, which is football.
Moving forward with the injury, is it something that you've got to be careful with? Is it something that can be easily, what have the doctors told you in terms of re-aggravating or anything?
I think the main thing is just continue to play football. If you don't really think about it, I think it'll be fine. I feel like if you're hesitant and, you're kind of laboring an injury, that's when you hurt something else. You know what I mean? You might hurt like with your ankle, you might end up hurting your knee or something like that. So you just got to play football, and don't worry about it. It'll be fine.
How hard do you think that'll be to forget about that?
Not hard. Yeah, that'd be good.
Not to belabor it, but we haven't talked to you much or at all since the injury, but what were you thinking staying on the field? Because the look on your face on TV, you looked like
after I got hurt.
Yeah.
Oh my man, it was tough because like I said, I don't usually get hurt like that. So when I got on the field and actually when I got tackled and I kind of rolled over, usually when you get tackled, you feel like a little blow and things like that. You just get up, walk around for 5 seconds, and you're fine, ready to go to the next play. But it was kind of like a nagging pain and it burned. It hurt. You know what I mean? So got up and I was like, man, this isn't normal. I tried to lift my arm up, it wasn't happening. So I kind of looked at Coach Fisher on the top of my shoulder and he's like, no, stay out there. And so I was like, all right. Well, I think we might have ran three plays after that. And I lifted to throw a pass, completed it, but I was like, nah, this is, something's really wrong with my shoulder. So that's when, I came off the field.
I know you were just kind of saying that Clint's done a great job in that first game and all that, but with you back out there, what will that mean to the team? What does that do to the team having you?
Yeah, I don't think, I don't know. I think it's going to be good. Obviously positive because I'm the leader of the team and things like that. And I think my teammates are really looking forward to me getting back out there as well. I know they see me coming in after practice from the training room like, hey man, how your shoulder feeling? Like all the guys would ask how I'm feeling, and that means a lot. The guys still believe in me and want me back out there. So I think it'll be very good, very very positive for our team. Give us a kind of a boost, a kind of a lift.
Does it almost? I mean, I don't want to belabor this point too, but does it almost feel like there needs to be a little bit of a lift, a little bit of a boost considering?
I think we talked last week as a team, and I think we handled a lot of stuff. A lot of mishaps as far as doing the right things on and off the field. We might have with us losing those 2 games, you can either go south or you can go north as far as your attitude as far as the season. And we got a lot of football left to play. And we told ourselves we're just going to take care of Wake Forest, then take care of Duke, then take care of Maryland, and then so on. So we're not too worried about the losses or anything like that, but just got to handle it and go out there and win.
Can you talk about Wake and what they might do defensively that could cause problems for you guys?
Yeah, they're a 3-4 defense. Do a lot of blitzing and things like that, and they disguise very well. But I think with our athletes and our speed, I think we'll be able to combat that pretty well. So, you know, definitely some vertical throws. We've been throwing, you know, the ball great all year, so I don't think that's going to be something that'll change.
EJ, the receiving core, you guys are on pace in terms of depth. I think like 7 guys are on pace to have like 20 or more catches.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that hasn't happened if ever.
Right.
Talk about the receiving core, what they did without you at Clemson.
Right, yeah, well, I think those guys helped Clint a lot. You know, obviously Clint made the decisions and threw great passes, but at the same time, those guys are still catching the ball, and I would say that even when I was a quarterback, you know, those guys are making plays for me. You know, so I was extremely, you know, happy for those guys. And I told Rodney when I went down, you know, that Monday, I was like, hey, man, you got to lead. And that's what he did, Rodney Smith. He definitely led those guys, led his segment. Christian Green stepped up. Nick O'Leary played great at tight end. Rashad Green, obviously, he's the money guy for us. And, you know, he's always going to come down with a big play, a big catch, and touchdown. So, you know, those guys played great. You know what I mean? Got Clint, I think, 300-plus yards, so that was huge.
How much has Nick progressed throughout the season? He's top of the depth chart now.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I think he's progressed tremendously. I think all those guys, even the receivers, even back going into the summertime when I first talked to you guys, those guys truly developed over the summer. And, you know, I could kind of see it right before my eyes. Those guys growing up, understanding the concepts of our plays and things like that, being open in the right situations, and, you know, just catching the ball and making plays. That's the main thing. But Nick has done a great job for us, and he'll continue to do that.
Have you ever had to sit out a game in high school?
No. Actually, my freshman year, I started as a true freshman, and I hurt my elbow. Yeah, as a quarterback. Yeah, and you know, I had to sit out for like 2 games, I think, and I came back. I had to play with a brace and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
2 questions.
You were just talking about Rashad Green. I mean, how special is it to have a young guy like that? Who is your money guy? So
right. I'm waiting to get back out there with him, so he can play when I get in. But you know, definitely guys, you want to get him the ball because I mean, he's gonna score for you. You know, that's what you want from a receiver, a big time play guy. You know, and he's an accountable guy. You know, he's young, but he's accountable. He's very mature for his age, so he's playing great football right now.
Last question.
You talked about the team talking last week. Anybody emerging as like a leader during that time, or guys?
Right. Like I said, Rodney Smith, Nigel Bradham stepped up tremendously on the defense. Terrence Parks, Andrew Datko's been doing a great job, and David Spurlock as well for the O-line, and Chris Thompson, Lonnie Pryor, all those guys, you know, the usual guys that will, you know, step up and speak and say what they have to say. Bjorn Warner as well, and Brandon Jenkins too. So, you know, we had a good talk, and I think that was very productive, very positive for us, you know, going into this next game.